What is up? Thank you for coming to my channel, Prison POV. Shout out to the joiners, shout out to the Point of View crew, and trip on this. 3 of my homeboys picked up a hot one at Wasco Reception. Youngster, Bam Bam, and Silver. Now, Youngster I never met. Bam Bam I met a time or two, but Silver I know pretty well. So I'm going to tell the story, and I'm going to focus on him. Let's get it, let's go. Trip on this. I'm in county jail, Max Mead. Getting ready to get sentenced on my 4-year term. While there at Max Mead, myself and other of the homeboys who were near me doing time kept hearing horrible things about the key holder who had the yard at the farm, the male minimum. The Wood, who was calling shots on the farm, was acting foul and way out of line. Reason being, there was a straight-up brand member, full-fledged, big homie, Aryan Brotherhood member in pre-trial. So you got the brand member in pre-trial, me and Max Mead, and this other Wood over on the farm, calling shots. Well, since there was a brand member in pre-trial, all kinds of people were getting together clavos and packages, sending them to the farm, since they have contact visits, hoping that the Wood, calling shots on the farm, would get those packages and send them to pre-trial to the big homie from the brand. That was the plan. The big homeboy should be getting blessed. He should be doing straight up easy time. He should be having it his way. So people were sending stuff in from the streets, but he was not getting anything. Because the guy who was calling shots for the Woods, the guy who had the farm sewed up, was keeping all the clavos for himself. And every time the Woods or the brand member would write kites from pre-trial and send it to the farm and say, "What's up with the clavos? What's up with the packages that were dropped off? How come they're not making it over here to pre-trial? What's up?" They would never even get a response. Because the same guy who was taking all the packages and clavos was also getting the kites. Throwing the kites away, keeping the clavos for himself, and basically saying F you to the big homie in pre-trial. I heard about this way over in Max Mead. When I finally got sentenced, and I finally caught the chain to Wasco, I caught the bus, I was with 3 other Woods riding to Wasco Reception that day. Me, Ironwood, Silent, and Silver. Now there were other individuals on the bus, other white dudes, Caucasians, old men, but only us 4 were hip to the politics and were considered rags and good Bakersfield homeboys. And us 4 got to talking on the bus on the way to Wasco Reception. And we brought up how that Wood on the farm was doing the big homie in pre-trial dirty by keeping all of his clavos. I didn't like this dude anyway, who had the keys to the farm, was calling shots out there at this time. Because I had been with him previously on a violation. This dude was only doing a 30-day dry out, but somehow the paperwork got messed up. They didn't let him out on that 30th day. Nor did they let him out on that 31st or 32nd day. I don't think he went home until day 34 or day 35, and he was stressed out. Bro, number 1 rule, never let him see you sweat. Now, yeah, it must suck. Supposed to go home on that 30th day. Hey, they messed the paperwork up. Dude, you know you're going to go home, before it hits day 60. They'll get it figured out. You're still beating a lot of people to the house. So don't even trip with your little old tiny 30 days. And if you are tripping, keep it to yourself. Dude, he was crying a river. He kept talking to the cops, putting in 602s, asking everybody, "What do you think? When am I going to go?" And just making a big deal. And I'm like, bro, you're supposed to be one of the older homeboys. You always have the keys to all these buildings and yards. Act accordingly. I didn't care for his stilo at all. And now here he is, ripping off the brand member, ripping off the real big homeboy, stealing all of his packages. So we're talking about that on the way to Wasco. Myself, Ironwood, Silver, and Silent. And we came to agreement. We made a pact that if any of us were to see that Wood who had the farm at Wasco, because he was getting ready to get sentenced, he was on his way. He was supposed to be on that bus with us that day. But he wasn't. He missed it. He will be here in the next couple of weeks, we said, and let's make an agreement. Let's make a pact that if he shows up, we GTA him. We get that ass. Homie, we stomp him out. He has an issue coming. How dare he act in such a manner? So we made an agreement. We made a pact. And then when we got to Wasco, and they gave us our bedrolls, kicked us out of R&R, finally started housing us, they sent all 4 of us to C-Yard, which was interesting. Ironwood went to C4. Silent and Silver both went to C2. I went to C1. We didn't have anybody in C3. If that dude were to drive up, and if he were to make it to C-Yard, homie, as long as he made it to C3, he'd be alright. If he went to C1, 2, or 4, he was done with. And sure enough, the following week, just like I said, here comes the Kern County bus. Here comes the Bakersfield boys, homeboy. Bakersfield's here. Oh, and look, there's that guy who had the keys to the farm, who ripped off the big homie, kept all of his clavos and packages. And look, he's coming to C-Yard. He's on his way. The porter who was out there cleaning the building I was at, C1, there's a patio. A porter was on the patio, keeping point. He's like, yep, there he is. He's on his way. Here he comes. Dude, I had never even informed the Bakersfield boys in my building of this highly delicate situation. So I did a real quick huddle, a real quick junta, wood meeting, and I said, bro, hey, Bakersfield homeboys, do you guys remember hearing about how that dude was on the farm ripping off the brand member? Not giving him none of his clavos or packages? Yeah, I remember hearing something about that. Yeah, I remember hearing something about that, Splinter. I go, here he comes. And we've got a green light on him according to me, Ironwood, Silver, and Silent, homeboy. We made a pact to get him. So if he comes in here, we got to GTA him. We got to get that ass. All right, Splinter, let's get him. He come walking up, brother, but he didn't go to C1, 2, or 4. It was his lucky day. He actually made it in C3, where there was not a hitter. Nobody over there knew what time it was. Dude, it was his freaking lucky day. He seriously dodged a bullet. So even though he didn't come in my pad, C1, like a week later, you know who did? Silver. Silver came into C1. But wait a minute now, he was over in C2 with Silent. And when I see the cop bring Silver and all of his bedding and all of his property, and he comes walking him over, I get the other Bakersfield homeboys. I'm like, dude, Silver's coming over from C2. We need to hit him up. This could be a problem. It's highly irregular. Once you're housed in your building, they don't just snatch you up and just move one inmate from this yard to this building, just move around from dorm to dorm. Bro, when you get in your building, you're there and you're set until you catch a chain and you leave or you parole. They might move 40 at once to a yard. They do big moves, but they don't ever do small moves, one guy at a time. So when I saw Silver coming on his way from C2 to C1, I knew there was an issue. I got the homeboys, I said, let's jam him up. He shows up, he goes to his bed, he starts making it, and we push up on him. Silver, dude, why are you here? What happened to you over there in C2? He's like, man, you're not going to believe it. I got in trouble for stealing a hamburger. I got long gut. I was hungry. I thought last night's dinner was a little bit light in the ass. I get a hamburger, it wasn't enough, it didn't fill me up. Dude, I got another one. You know, he's like, screw that state issue. That belongs to the state anyway, which there's where he's wrong. It's foul and out of line to steal state food because it doesn't belong to the state. It belongs to the convicts. The inmates, the guys who are, the porters, the guys who are issuing out the food, serving breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they get the extras. If you're handing out breakfast trays and there's a couple extra breakfast trays, you get them. If you're serving dinner and there's a couple other dinner trays, the porters get them. So by him stealing a hamburger, he actually ripped off the inmates, the convicts, homeboy. It's a bad look and it's out of line. But we're not going to punish Silver in C1 for something he did in C2. They should have gave him his 23 seconds. They should have got him over there. They should have got to him before the cops did. Obviously, he stole the burger, homeboy, and the inmates did nothing. Cops found out, snatched him up, sent him over here. Bro, that's C2's problem. That's the way we looked at it. And then we get a kite from Silent, from C2. Apparently, he has a building. He has the keys for the woods. He sends us his kite. And he's like, Splinter and Giant. That's who I was in C1 with. Trip on this. Silver stole a burger. I want you to get on that fool's neck. I want you to get up in his ass with both feet. We want you to stomp him out. We want you to smash him out. He needs to be airlifted. He needs to go out on a stretcher. Get that fool. And we're like, no. You're not going to send us kites over here telling us how to run our program. You're not going to call shots in C1 from over there in C2. If you feel that strongly about it, find a way over here and lead from the front. We didn't like the way he worded it, like he was telling us what to do with our program. Had he worded it differently, perhaps Silver would have got a 23-second issue for stealing a hamburger, since at the end of the day, he's really ripping off another inmate. That being said, homeboy, we didn't like the way Silent got at us, so we got it back on paper and we said, no, dude, we're not going to give him any kind of issue because it's a dead issue. You guys should have handled it over there. This is C1. This is not C2. Homie, clean slate. Brand new day. We ain't tripping. But you know who was tripping? Was Silver. He's like, I can't believe Silent sent a kite over here trying to get me smashed. He goes, when I see that fool, it's on and cracking. And now we all left C1 to C2, Ironwood, Silver, Silent, myself, Giant. We either paroled, went in different prisons, time went on. And now a year goes by and Silver had hit the streets and he's back in, but he's in Wasco Reception H5. He's over there doing burpees in H5. And now look, it's Tuesday, so Kern County came. It's Bakersfield boys are back. We know who comes on what day. You know, Fresno comes on Monday. Kern County comes on Tuesday. Orange County and Ventura on Wednesday. Dude, it's Tuesday. We got a new bus. More Bakersfield homeboys. Kern County in the house. Silver's over there doing burpees. He's watching the new people come into the dorm. The first thing they do when they come into a dorm is go to the podium. The cop gives them their cup, their spoon, their toilet paper. And Silver's watching these new inmates and he recognizes one of them as being Silent. The fool who sent a kite over to us, trying to get him stomped out for taking a hamburger. Bro, Silver seen Silent and he started acting a fool. I wasn't there to witness it, but I heard that Silver was in the back and he was like, yeah, come back over here. It's on. I'm going to smash you out. You better come back here. Not yelling, but lipping it. Hey, dude, I'm going to see you. It's just acting a fool, bro. Trying to get into his head, trying to psych him out, jump up and down and flex on him and swing at the air and just go ape shit, bro, and just act a fool, dude, act like he's psycho, bro. But dude, it worked. Got into Silent psyche because Silent's looking back at Silver, acting a fool, like come back here, ah! Silent told the cop straight up, I can't program here. I can't be in this dorm. Straight pussed out. And you ought to see Silent. Tattoos all over his face, all over his neck, all over his hands and arms. Dude, tatted down. Every time he hits a yard, building, block, or dorm, he always tries to take control. He always tries to take the keys, which to me is a red flag. If you see somebody who's always trying to, every time they hit a spot, they want control of it, I think you're hiding something. Be that as it may, dude, Silver was going to flatline old Silent. Silent rolled it right there up on the spot. So trip out. Time goes by. I myself come in, Soledad, bro, end up going out. I pro in Soledad, and now it's 2009, dude. I'm an ICDTP, and this is when I hear that Silver, Youngster, and Bam Bam did a straight unsanctioned hit, homeboy. And this is what happened. All three of them were drunk, for one, which is a big no-no. That's why I told you guys a story about how when I got drunk in Arizona, the woods almost gave me a what for 23 seconds because I was drunk in the cell. I kept trying to leave the cell, go to the day room to get a cigarette. No, you can't leave the cell when you're drunk. You can't be in the day room floor. You got to stay in your cell. So I don't know what they were thinking, homeboy, being in a level 2 dorm, being, I could see have a cup or two, getting a little bit tipsy, but getting that shit-faced drunk as those three were, I heard they were just smashed, bro. All three of them. Youngster, Bam Bam, and Silver. And now one thing about that Youngster dude, and let me tell you, bro, let me tell you something real quick. Every time I've been locked up with somebody, and they have an uncle, dad, or brother, or nephew, or some family member that's in prison and done a lot of time, especially if they're well respected, like they won't quit talking about them. If you got this guy over here who has a family member over here that's done a lot of time, they always want to say, my brother, my uncle, you know, my nephew, did you know about my brother, did you know about my uncle? For instance, we could be watching football, and the Raiders come on. And if this homeboy, his dad's in the shoe, he'll be like, oh yeah, you know about my dad, the one that's in the shoe, like he really loves the Raiders. Like, dude, kill game. Do your own time. Quit riding on coattails. Just like my homeboy Blockhead. Shout out to Blockhead. His little brother named himself Little Blockhead. And when I was doing time with Little Blockhead, he wouldn't quit talking about his brother Blockhead. Blockhead this, Blockhead that. Hey, just in case you didn't know, Blockhead's my brother. You know, my brother this, my brother that. They tried to ride on the coattails, bro. It's like, do your own time. And so that dude, Youngster, his dad was Eddie Lee. One of the big homeboys, not a brand member, but an older homeboy, a big homeboy who had a lot of respect coming and done a lot of years. So Youngster's always talking about my dad this and my dad that. My dad did this and my dad did that. You know who my dad is, right? My dad, my dad, my dad. So you have Silver, Bam Bam, and Eddie Lee, Youngster, Eddie Lee's son, drunk in the day room, and a new bus comes from Kern County. Bakersfield boys are back. Here comes Kern County. The bus comes, bro. All these dudes come from R&R. They're in C1. They're in a dorm. All these people start coming in. They see the new people. And Youngster looks at one of the guys and he says, hey, that dude told on my dad. Which he didn't. Straight up smutted him up. Put a rat jacket on him for no reason. That dude told on my dad, he said. And the crazy part about it is if you read the court documents, the dude that he picked to put the rat jacket on to smut up was an old man. He was 95 pounds at his autopsy. And one of the cops said he was sickly. He'd been coughing all day. They're going to take him to freaking medical, homeboy. He was coughing. He was underweight. He was a sickly, shot out looking old man. And that's the guy, the Youngster said, hey, he told on my dad. So then Bam Bam and Silver say to him, okay, well, if you go punch him, we'll do the rest. And they followed the guy with their eyes. They saw him go to his bed. He started making his bed, this old, sickly, 95-year-old man. And then Youngster goes up there and pushes him down. He's so frail and light in the ass that Youngster's able to just, with one push, topple him over. He falls down. And that's when Bam Bam, Ryan Capelli, comes in there. And he grabs the bunk. He puts one hand on this bunk, one hand on this bunk. And he starts stomping his head in, using the bunk to gain air. And that goes on for about 10 seconds. And the guy's on the ground, wiggling around in pain, like, well, I don't even know you. And then he's stomping on his head, and all of a sudden he just quits talking. They found DNA on the ceiling. They found DNA on the walls, on several people's beds. Dude, it just shot DNA in all directions, stomping on his head. And then Bam Bam, Ryan Capelli stopped doing that. And that's when Silver came over there, though. That's when Silver came over there and started kicking. He was kicking him for like 5 minutes. They'd tell him, stop, dude, stop. Finally, Bam Bam had to go over there and grab Silver, hem him up, and pull him off that dude. Quit kicking him. Quit stomping him out. It's done. Bam Bam rips off his bloody clothes, and he goes, tries to get in his bed and hide. Silver goes and takes his pants down, sits on the toilet like he's taking a dump. And Youngster just went to playing cards or whatever. I don't know, but the cops came in, dude. Gaffled him up. It wasn't hard to figure out who was involved and charged Bam Bam and Silver with second-degree murder and charged Youngster with manslaughter. And they all got convicted. Youngster was doing a 2-year term. I don't know what he ended up with. Bam Bam was doing a 5-year term. He ended up with 30 to life. And Silver was doing a 5-month violation. 5 flat. 5 months. Not even half a year. Turned that into 15 to life. Now, after they did that, the cops hem him up, and where are they going? They're going to the hole. Obviously, right? So they take him to the hole. And D6, AdSeg, the hole at Wasco, bro, is ran by the inmates. They're in full control of that thing. It's full of brand members and Nazi lowriders and P9. It's full of gang members. Active top tier, PC, SY in the bottom tier. So all three of those dudes, Youngster, Bam Bam, and Silver, since they came out of an active dorm, C1, they did that hit, that 187, cops snatch them up, send them in the hole, put them on GP tier. Right away they get booked. Why? Because it's a big no-no to go around and just start whacking white dudes just because you got drunk. You cannot get drunk and just go kill some white dude for no damn reason. That's why paperwork is so important. It's like, this guy did that, this guy did this. Well, show me the paperwork. That way we don't bust a move, find out he didn't do it, and then we're all in trouble. Dude, you cannot just go murk somebody and take their win for no dang reason. It's going to be your ass at that point. So they go top tier, D6, GP, and they all end up getting stuck. And they all get sit downstairs, PC. And then upstairs, the brand members and lowriders start writing them kites and saying, well, look, Bam Bam, look, Silver, if you guys stab each other, you be active. That's your cleanup. Bam Bam, we want you to stab Silver. Silver, you stab Bam Bam. That's your cleanup. Do that. You can come back up. I don't know if they did it or not. Maybe they did. I think they did. They go back upstairs. They get stuck again. Dude, it was just playing with their heads. Playing with their heads. Telling them they can become GP if they do this. And never even letting them be GP. Finally getting them GP. Just end up sticking them back to PC. Bro, they're just chewing them up, spitting them out, and just having fun with them because they're bored. But even though Silver was PC, a D6, a wall score reception, because they're not going to be on the roll call, they're not going to be good standing because they're considered active for just whacking that fool for no reason. PC, bro. But after he did his 5-month violation, they snatched him up and sent him to Kern County Jail to start fighting that second-degree murder charge. He sat in county for a long time, and he went and he was GP at county. Even though he was PC in Wasco. Goes to county jail, I'm going to be GP. Because all the fellas know what time it is. They know he's PC because he got drunk, did something foolish, did something really foolish. Something really sad, actually. Murked that dude, bro, and now he's all bad. And now he's going to do life instead of 5 months. People kind of felt bad for him, I think. They let him kick it, let him be GP. Him and the homeboy Ironwood end up selling up together. They got in a big fight. Silver knocks Ironwood out and then bites a chunk out of his face. I don't know the whole story on that. I can't wait to hear it. I'm going to hit up Ironwood's brother. I think he knows what time it is with that. But Silver and Ironwood would sell these. They got into a fight. Silver knocks him out and bites a chunk out of his face. Last I heard about Silver, he was on a level 4 yard at Tehachapi. Level 4 180 PC. Banging USAS. USAS is a PC SMY skinhead gang. Them and Wolfpack got together. Wolfpack was active for just a hot second. Then they became PC. I think USAS had their back. They ended up going all bad. So Wolfpack, USAS are PC, SMY skinhead gangs. And Silver is a member. And at Tehachapi level 4 180, Silver kicked off a big riot against the 2-5ers. USAS against 2-5. Silver kicked it off. And I heard about that from Savage Studios. None other than old Savage. Hit me up in the comment section one day when I was talking about Silver in a prior video. I mean, prior, not private. Prior video. Okay. Savage said, I know Silver. That fool's USAS. He kicked off a riot at Tehachapi, level 4 180 against the 2-5ers. Savage is like, I was there. Savage is 2-5. Anyway, rest in peace. And homeboy, with that being said, the story I just told you is the most saddest story I know. Sad that a guy got killed for no reason, and sad that a guy turned 5 months into a life sentence. Bro, I couldn't even imagine. Dude, I don't think I'd ever be able to stop thinking about it. I would never be able to accept my new reality. I'd be so mad at myself. Couldn't even imagine, homeboy. Anyway, I'm going to cut the string and let it fly. Peace.